So welcome to the 6med interview masterclass, and a big welcome from me, your student ambassador. So my name's Hardeep. At the moment I'm a medical student in Cambridge, and I am the 6med student ambassador, which basically means I'm the link between all of the 6med services and all of the amazing people who work behind the scenes, and you guys, the students. So you may have seen some of my blogs on the website. I've been doing surgeries if you've attended them, and you may see me sort of dotted around the site doing bits and pieces. But also I am the person who is presenting all of these masterclasses. So there's masterclasses for the entire sort of the entire application process. So I've done the BMAT, the UCAT, and the personal statement, and now this one, and it's very much sort of giving you all of the fundamentals, and then building on some of those ideas into essentially giving you a syllabus and covering all of the main points. We have the sort of collective wisdom of 6med and the number of years that we've been doing this, and it's very much a sort of student focused and student driven organization, and that's why I'm in the best position to be presenting these. Panel interviews versus MMIs. So even if you don't have any MMIs, it's worth just knowing about the skills that are involved, because it can sort of trigger you to think about some approaches that you might want to take. So some sort of quick differences and an overall summary. So panel interviews, there won't be any sort of simulated patients or role playing. You'll have one chance to make a good impression. So in other words, you will only have this one set of interviewers. Whereas with MMIs, if you sort of don't do that well, if you don't really get on with or build a rapport with your interviewer, you always have the other stations. So MMIs are multiple mini interviews, fewer general questions, so they tend to be focused on one or two main skills with each station. It demands a wider skill set, so they'll normally test sort of a wider range of skills and more sort of formally test some of them, whereas in the panel interview it may just be in discussion. These are the four pillars, so autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. And I've sort of summarized in just a few words what each of them actually mean. So autonomy, the patient having their own choice to do what they want in terms of their treatment, medicine that you give them, surgery, essentially deciding their own treatment. And obviously they need to have capacity for this, and I'll sort of talk about that briefly on the next slide, I believe. But generally we want patients to be able to make their own decision. Beneficence, so doing good, benefiting the patient. Non-maleficence, so the idea of do no harm. We don't want to harm our patients, we want to do what we can, and that includes neglect. So if we withhold treatment, for example, from a patient, and that treatment would benefit them, even though we're not actively doing something to them, by withholding that treatment we are harming them, and therefore we're not following non-maleficence. And then justice, so fairness in the eyes of the law, are we sort of abiding by it, and also treating patients the same, giving the same treatment, that sort of idea. So really important to sort of know these, know how to define them, and know some good examples for them as well.